become that person first. So once you are into that zone, or once you are into that frequency yourself, then you will be able to give it to other people. So this entire book revolves around the same thing, though I have also not read the entire book. I'm reading it with you guys. But when I was reading the summary, on when I was reading about the book, this is what I understood. So yesterday we just read the introduction part of it, where the author was telling his story with his girlfriend, and then she became his wife. So they met in college, then they started dating, then they got married. But he actually pointed out all the rough patches which were there in their relationship in starting. And I think it is a story of every other household, where you just want to be in a better place. You just want your partner to understand your perspective. You just want them to take care of you. But we never think that okay, their perspective is also a perspective. So if XYZ is correct for me, ABC can be correct for them. So as strongly as we are standing by XYZ, that's why they are also standing by ABC. So if it is difficult for us to understand their perspective, that is ABC, it is similarly, it is actually same for them also. And that's why maybe they are also not understanding our perspective, that is XYZ. So when you are into a relationship, when you want a loving relationship, when you want love into your life, three things are very very important. You have to be very kind. You have to be a person who should understand that okay, other perspective can also be right. If you are fitting into your shoes, you have to be that much adjustable so that you can fit yourself into other shoes as well. And obviously third is I think it was when uh, I think I missed the third part. So Mansi, maybe she can help us. But and one more thing which author pointed out is that you don't have to find a perfect man or perfect woman to love. You just have to find a person who is willing to grow and who is willing to change. And once you are with that kind of a person, you both can grow together in your lives by changing yourselves, by making yourselves a better person. And then he shared that how they went into a meditating zone when one of their friends told them that okay, you should start meditation, both of you. Then they started meditating, and then they realized that meditation was not only helpful for their personal growth, but it also helped them to heal their relationship and heal their bond. So that's why this book is all around that when you start healing yourself and loving yourself, you will be able to love other person in a much better way, and you can see life in much better ways. So yeah, that was my take on it. And I think most of people have started. Mansi, before we start, if you want to share something, you can, and then we shall start.
No, no, I was about to share that meditation part only, but you already covered that. So I think it's good. We're good to go. And I would highly insist everyone to please read the first story because it is very interesting to read the way the author takes us through his own life's love story and journey and the ups and downs and how they evolved as couple and as individuals through that. It's fun. You will be able to relate a lot with yourself and maybe your spouse. So I would highly insist to please read through it also, although we have given a gist, but you'll connect better as you read through. So, yeah, we can start, I think, Jyoti. Who would like to read today?
And please share your names into the chat box if you want to read. We shall take turn by turn.
I would love to read.
All right,
Yeah,
all right.
I have one question before we start. Like you said, meditation, right? Yesterday. So how did meditation help in that? Like,
So it was a story yesterday which was shared into the introduction. It didn't tell the entire part of it, that how it helped them. Maybe in the in the book when we shall start reading, we'll figure that out.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Okay, who wants to read?
Can we hear?
Yes, yes, please start.
Yes. Uh, Good afternoon to all. How to help love flow. Love is one of the clearest feelings a human being can experience, yet it is too enigmatic to place a concrete definition on. Like trying to grab water with your hand, the exact limits of love are rightfully elusive, but even so, we can get close to giving words to its depth. Love is a powerful and liberating feeling, one that radiates throughout your body. Love is a light that can shine brightly from within you even when you're alone, and it is also a light that intensifies between two people when the magnetic feeling between them has proven to be undeniable. Love is an energy that motivates you into action. It helps the mind see clearly and selflessly. Love helps you come in contact with your strength and courage. It helps you say the things you were once afraid to voice. Love can help you say no, and equally, it can help you full heartedly say yes. It helps you clarify what is and is not important. In pantheon of human emotions, love stands as the most prized experience. It is something we seek actively and passively. We may seek it in the form of self love as a way to heal and free ourselves, or in the form of a healthy and nourishing partnership. In either case, arriving at one of these forms of love provides a great level of rest, solace, and happiness to our being. All of the friendships and close relationships we pour energy and attention into are also included in the foundation of our lives. We are relational beings. We not only depend on others for survival but thrive in relationship with others. Love is not something small, it is the energy of love that often changes lives and even history. Love has the power to break down walls and open doorways. It also has the power to preserve, create boundaries, and make tough calls. Love is deeply personal and highly situational. The way one person loves themselves can be totally different from how another activates self love in their life. The way one couple expresses love can be miles away from the next. Even though love can look different for everyone, it always has that warm feeling of safety and freedom when it is brought to life. The purpose of this book is to deeply explore how love manifests in partnerships and to answer the questions how can I love better? Yes. Anjali, you want to read?
Yes, after you finish, no? If you
Yeah.
want to read further, yeah, please
Yeah,
go
please
ahead.
go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Where we struggle and how we rise. The deep truth is that most human beings do not arrive into a relationship unscathed from the ups and downs of life. From childhood to adulthood, life leaves its mark on your mind many times over, and these marks morph into patterns that are often coping mechanisms or defensive tactics you picked up while you were in survival mode. The hurt you have accumulated ultimately shapes the way you perceive reality and can even form walls that have to be broken down so you can fully love yourself and others. To be able to love your partner well, a deep reckoning needs to happen where you realize that how you love and heal yourself has a direct connection to how you show up in your relationship. The relationship between you and yourself has a clear impact on the relationship between you and your partner. If you want to love your partner better, then you need to develop a two pronged approach. First, improving your relationship with yourself by letting go of the heaviness that your mind carries. Second, working to outwardly shift your behaviors so they can be more conducive to a harmonious relationship. Love is not easy and it is honestly a lot of work. Love is a powerful mirror where you cannot help but see yourself clearly. It will show you how you have grown and it will show you in which direction you need to grow next. Being in a relationship is not about living in a constant stream of pleasure. Even the healthiest relationships will be full of ups and downs and unforeseen challenges. A relationship should certainly provide comfort, joy, and a sense of safety, but it should also become fuel for your evolution. Once you embrace your growth, the new harmony that starts flowing within you will help support the harmony in your relationship. One of the biggest internal things to overcome so that love can flow better between two people is attachment. The human mind has a powerful drive to crave for things to exist in a manner that is our liking. That is to our liking, but sometimes this drive will turn an unproblematic desire into a strong attachment that has gathered so much mental tension that we feel upset when things diverge from what we initially imagined. The drive to set things up the way we like them can become controlling if it remains unchecked. Love is meant to support the feeling of freedom when in the presence of your partner, but attachment can squander that feeling when you demand things happen the way you want them. The key to harmony in a relationship is finding a balance between making sure that your genuine needs are met and establishing clear and voluntary commitments that help support each other's happiness. You both know that you cannot directly make the other happy because happiness is something that emerges from your personal mindset, but together you can create the conditions and environment where it is easier to feel joy and fulfillment in each other's presence. A partnership can bring so much delight into your life, but only you can clarify your perspective so you can let joy in and experience happiness more often. Establishing these commitments help reduce attachment and confusion. Commitments are the application of honest and open communication, so you both learn how to love each other well by voicing your needs. When you hear each other's needs, you can then check in with yourselves and see what feels good to commit to. This lets you both show up in your relationship in a way that feels driven by your desire to love your partner well, as opposed to feeling pressured by your partner to behave in a certain way. Forcing, controlling, possessiveness, manipulation. These are all variations of attachment. They are unmistakable blocks that stop love from flowing and they create pressure on a relationship in a way that eventually breaks the connection. Love is meant to uplift, a partnership is meant to nourish, attachment does the opposite. It is a self centered approach to a relationship that can end something great before it even really begins. If you think a relationship is meant to be an escape so that it should only be blissful, then you are missing the point. Love is soft and nourishing, but it is also hard and revealing. It will show you the sides of yourself that you need to work on. One of the most crucial elements of love is selflessness. This means knowing yourself well enough that you can see beyond your own ego, cravings, and attachments and are able to intentionally arrive into your relationship as someone who wants to make your partner's happiness as much of a priority as your own. Developing selflessness helps you nourish a balance between giving and receiving, two qualities that are important for both partners to work on. Both need to be able to give so to the other feels taken care of, and both need to be able to receive so that the effort of their partner is not wasted. Selflessness is what allows patience, listening, and understanding to really thrive. Anybody else wants to take from here?
Thank you so much, Anjali. Anyone wants to read next?
I'll go.
Okay.
The um three overarching qualities that can help you love better. First one, kindness. Kindness is vastly underrated and is key in demonstrating to your partner that you can care about them. Treating your partner as your friend and loved one, even when you two are going through a tough moment, is a clear application of kindness. When an argument is happening, you may have to remind yourself that your partner is not your enemy. It is not you versus them. It is actually the two of you versus your different understanding or miscommunication. Holding kindness as a medium through which you interact with each other is a direct sign of your love. Kindness is a form of gentleness that helps soften your actions. Since your partner is your closest comrade in life, the one you spend the most time with, it makes sense to intentionally treat them with kindness. It is easy to get stuck in the mode where we often give our partners the hardest parts of ourselves. They see us when we are most angry or upset. And really, this is because we feel so comfortable around them that we can finally put our guard down and be the realist versions of ourselves. Our partners see us when we are our partners see us when we are dejected and exhausted. They see the toughest parts of our character, and this is actually a beautiful thing that we can be vulnerable with them, but it needs to be balanced so they can enjoy the best parts of us too. In the same way that we can show our partner the rawest parts of our emotions, we should be intentional about treating them with kindness so that the relationship isn't overwhelmed with down moments. The second one, growth. One of the best ways to love your partner better, the one of the best ways to love your partner better is by embracing growth and development as a lifelong journey. When you have a humility to realize that there is so much for you to learn and that you can benefit greatly from speaking outside of your comfort zone, your personal evolution will come more naturally. This ability to welcome growth into your life is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself and your partner. No one enters a relationship fully healed, completely wise, or perfect in their ability to love. Real love requires learning, adapting, letting go, and reaching new levels of peace and understanding, especially when you're looking for a serious relationship. This quality is the greenest of green flags. No one is perfect and everyone makes mistakes. But finding someone who takes responsibility and is open to correcting their mistakes and expanding beyond their old limits shows they are more likely to have an inner strength and skills to get through the hard moments of the relationship. When both partners embrace growth, the real magic of a relationship flourishes. Without this quality, without this quality, without this quality, moments of difficulty in relationships become roadblocks that you cannot get around. With this quality, you can see the difficulty, examine why it is there, understand your separate roles in these challenges, and cultivate new qualities that can help you preserve and reach a new level. Love is not static, it flows. Love loves change. I'll repeat it again. Love is not static, it flows. And love loves change. When you can when you can each accept that you are ever changing beings, it makes it easier to adapt when your preferences and understanding evolve as you spend time together. Who you are when you first start your relationship is not who you will be as your relationship moves forward in the river of time. Change is bound to happen, and if you let it, it can make your love even stronger. This makes sense when you realize that relationships will go through different chapters and how you love each other in one chapter may shift in another. Your commitment to growth will smooth the transition from one way of loving each other into another. Especially if you're together for years or decades, the way you show love to each other will need adapt to meet your evolving preferences. Human beings are innately change oriented. Human beings are innately change oriented. Whether the changes are small or large, they're always happening. A growth oriented mindset helps you to have a flexibility to see love as a long term project and yourself as an eternal student. Third one, compassion. This is probably the biggest and the most important differentiator between relationships that have harmony and those that do not. An essential way to show compassion is to intentionally practice putting yourself into your partner's shoes. Try to selflessly see the world and situations through their lens. It takes a lot of humility and strength to set aside your own perspective for a moment and place yourself in the partner's, especially if you two are going through a tough moment or or when you are in the middle of the argument. Compassion is such a necessary skill because it helps you uncover your own blocks. When you when you step aside of your own perspective, you can literally see more. It is easier to just stick with your own view, but love challenges you to grow by taking your partner's emotions seriously. If you can only see things through your way, then you will struggle greatly in supporting your partner's happiness. Compassion not only helps you see your partner better, but it also helps you learn their mind and heart. Compassion is the energy you see Compassion is the energy you use to learn more about your partner's emotional history. I'll repeat it again. Compassion is the energy you use to learn more about your partner's emotional history. It helps you study your partner so you can become familiar with their triggers and their preferences. Without compassion, your partner would remain a mystery to you. Communication is always the best part of the solution. But what isn't talked about enough is how important it is to see your partner's perspective as something that is important as your own. Compassion is related to kindness because they both contain element of gentleness, but compassion takes it further by combining gentleness with the expanded perspective and action. You're not only trying to understand your partner better, but you are also trying to act on what you are learning about them. Granted, in all the three qualities, it works only if both people are actively trying to cultivate them. One sided relationship where one person is doing all emotional heavy lifting are often unsustainable. This doesn't mean that you both have to behave the same way or have the same preferences. You will certainly have different strong points in your relationship, but there should be a sense of balance and a feeling that you you are both receiving amply. It takes two to feed a relationship so that it can really succeed. For many people, healthy relationships are self awareness. For many people, healthy relationships where self awareness is encouraged, where communication is clear and open, where growth is welcome, are a new phenomenon. It feels like we are living in the time where millions of people in the world are learning how to love themselves and one another better. We are trying to break away from the old idea of love that our relationship should always be perfect and make our lives easier into our more nuanced and realistic view of love, the type of love where we are not afraid of tough moments and challenges because we know overcoming. Okay, I'll repeat it again. The type of love where we are not afraid of tough times and challenges because we know overcoming them will actually elevate the love that are shared between two people. So much of the media and fairy tales around love hide the reality that love takes a lot of intentional work to make it. I'm sorry. I'll repeat it again. So much of media and fairy tales around love hide the reality that love takes a lot of intentional work to make it vibrant. Two people can feel love for each other, but more of us are understanding that it takes time to really learn how to care about each other. We are also learning how important it is to know ourselves more deeply so our past doesn't stop us from loving our partner fully. Love doesn't immediately create a home. It has to be carefully and intentionally constructed by two patient people who feel safe to be their most real selves with each other. Love is a journey. Relationships that are nourishing don't just happen without any work. You have to design a culture that takes into account your separate emotional histories, your needs, your communication styles, your goals, and more. Being open about the way you want to be loved sets your partner up for success. Does anybody want to read it further?
Thank you so much, Pravina, for the wonderful read. Anybody else wants to read? Okay, I shall continue then. How to love better. Everyone enters relationships with a multitude of imperfections. Depending on the person and their emotional history, there can be a wide range of internal matters that are unresolved. Hurt from the past, negative behavior patterns, unrealistic expectations, fears. There are so many things that can form blockages in the flow of love and make it more difficult for us to connect deeply. Since ego is so predominant in daily life, it will naturally and consistently impede the selflessness, kindness, and patience needed to support the harmony of the relationship. Attachment and the craving to control, which are intertwined with ego, also stand as a roadblock that each individual has to gradually undo if they want to enjoy a peaceful and fulfilling connection. In many ways, a relationship is an opportunity to learn how to love better. When we accept this framework, it becomes easier to use the lessons that arise to transform our behavior for our own benefit and for the benefit of our partner. Even though love comes with its challenges, the depth of the connection creates an immediate incentive to try to work on ourselves so that we can treat our partners better and give the relationship a better chance to thrive. 9 strategies that can help you love better. Number one, when both of you take your healing seriously, the relationship wins. When both of you take your healing seriously, the relationship wins. You both carry baggage from the past. Even if you haven't experienced deep trauma, there are still tendencies and patterns that have developed over time because the way you react accumulates in the mind. Through learning how to let go, you can stop past unproductive patterns from taking over. Developing your self love is necessary foundation that will support all relationships in your life. It is not selfish to learn what you need to do to take care of yourself and consistently put it into the action so you can show up as the best version of yourself. Remember, you and your partner may need different healing tools, but make sure that you are using something that is genuinely making you more self aware and mentally lighter. Meditation and therapy have helped millions of people. Find what works for you. Number two, enter the relationship knowing that you will have to grow to make it work. Embracing your imperfections is a superpower that opens the door to personal evolution. Partnership can be a potent catalyst for growth when you accept the challenge. As soon as the connection begins, start reflecting on your major past patterns and think about what you can do differently this time to create a thriving environment between you and your partner. Everything is not always their fault. Tension can easily twist your reasoning and make you place all the blame on your partner whenever conflict arises. Sometimes they are going to make mistakes and will apologize to you. But there will be also times when you make mistakes and need to apologize. Being able to recognize and own the fact that you started a fight is a big sign of inner strength. When both people can check themselves and try to find the real root of their tension, it helps decrease the intensity of an argument. Number four, in the midst of an argument, remember that this is the person you love and they are not your enemy. Your past can cloud your perception and make you become hyper defensive. Learn how to pull yourself out of the survival mode. Being able to ground yourself can help you let go of anger and move from having an argument to simply hearing each other's side of the story. So you can find a healthy middle ground. Reframe your idea of an argument from a battle to an opportunity that helps you understand each other better. If you both focus on giving, you will receive more. This one work only works if both people are truly committed to taking care of their partner in multiple ways. Only with open hands you can give and receive. Love is an active expression of this sentiment. The way you give to each other may not always look the same because each individuals have different strengths and preferences. Move with honesty and gentleness. Sorry. The truth, even when it is hard to give or receive, will ultimately bring you closer together. Lies and withheld truths create blockages in your connection. Truth should be delivered in a compassionate and skillful manner. Speaking to each other with gentleness, even when you are in a tense moment, will help keep you both level headed. Ask each other, how can I love you better? And act on it. It is helpful to get new information from your partner directly because, just like you, they are an ever changing being. Their preferences will slowly shift over time, and knowing them can help you better offer support as they move through their ups and downs. Relationships go through seasons, so it's good to check in regularly. View each other as best friends. This will help with deep and enjoyable connection. Try not to fall into the stagnancy of speaking only about mundane topics, like your jobs and taking care of errands. These are obviously important, but there is so much more to explore together. Keep learning about each other by having discussion about your beliefs, examining how your past had impacted your present, what's going on in the world, how you each think the universe works, your future goals, the direction you would like to grow in, and whatever else is enriching in the and in living to talk about. Do not try to control each other. Love will always be about freedom. Healthy relationships will keep the feeling of freedom vibrant. Of course, you will design your life together and voluntarily commit to each other in ways that feel good to both of you. But neither partner should ever feel cur- cursed or like they don't have a say in how they live their life. Ultimately, you are two individuals who are creating a home together, but you both still have your own lives to tend to. You are two stems that have chosen to flow together side by side. Loving each other better is about supporting each other's happiness. Love is not just comfort, it is also growth. Refusing to understand this truth is what breaks a lot of relationships. Love is not just comfort, it is also growth. Refusing to understand this truth is what breaks a lot of relationships. We often think of love in terms of what we want from it, but not in terms of the ways we need to grow to nurture it. Relationships are innately revealing, especially when the connection is deep and undeniable. The tricky thing is that you can feel love towards a person without knowing how to practice love in a way that feels mutually fulfilling and uplifting. The other challenge is that the practice of love is two people creating a world for themselves that not only feels generative and nourishing, but also is designed to meet the unique needs, wants, and commitments that are personal to their relationships. No matter how you evoke the practice of love, it is necessary to understand that love will show you where you need to grow. It will help you see the parts of you that need more light, and it will give you an opportunity to cultivate habits and behavior styles that produce harmony and understanding. If you want to love well in the present, you will have to work on letting go of the past. There are some reflective questions we need to ask ourselves. What does your ideal relationship looks like and what does it feel like? Are you successful at seeing other people's perspectives? What have you learned about yourself that has helped you show up better in your relationships? What do you need to feel loved? Do you and your partner ask each other, how can I love you better? If not, can you challenge yourself to do this? So these are the reflective questions on, I think, on today's read. We are done with the chapter number 1, and we are open for discussion. Thank you so much, guys. And we shall start sharing our perspectives on the chapter. Anyone?
Do Shall we just read out these questions once?
Yes, yes, sure.
Shall I
Question
do
number.
that?
Yes, yes, please do that.
Wants to do it, please. Yeah, no problem.
No, no, you do it, Mansi.
Okay, so reflection questions are: what does your ideal relationship look like? What does it feel like? So it's for the existing relationship or even for the ones that you're aspiring to be in. Then the second is: are you successful at seeing people's perspectives? Then the next is: what have you learned about yourself that has helped you show up better in your relationship? Okay. What do you need to feel loved? Do you and your partner ask each other, how can I love you better? If not, can you challenge yourself to do this? Okay. I think all of these questions are so courageous, right? Yeah, we need to have a lot of courage to actually uh, face them and answer them to ourselves as well as to the partner. There is a lot of ego that needs to be dissolved to even get to the answers. So yeah, wonderful, Lydia. Thank you, thank you. Anyone want to share? Please do.
Yeah, so there were some pointers which were very important. Like in a relationship, there were three pointers which we actually read about, and we read about this yesterday in the introduction part also. And the author said that growth, basically, the ability to grow or to accept that, okay, we are human beings and we need to change ourselves for better every day, is the greenest of the green flag. So I think that this is one thing which we should adopt immediately. Whatever, it should not be the growth. I think a lot of people must have seen that in Instagram image also. Mansi keeps sharing all these things on in her status also. That growth, even if like you are actually a one step ahead from yesterday, the growth is that also. It doesn't need to be the entire leap. So even if you are pushing yourself to take one step, it might look smaller today, but in the run of time, maybe 1 month down the line or 1 year down the line, that will eventually show how much you have grown. So instead of sitting and thinking that this may be a very small step, I might start days after this day, you should always take one step ahead. And human beings, the history of human beings have shown that we are meant to evolve. So evolve in nature, evolve in, the physicality, mentality, and everything of it. So growth is one thing which is driving your relationship. It is very important, and I totally believe that until and unless you are actually taking care of your growth, you won't be able to take care of the growth of the relationship as well. So this is one point which I thought, everything is important whatever we read, but this was the one point which I felt was very extremely important. So I just needed to discuss this. Anybody else can share, please, your thoughts? Anyone? Pravina, Anjali, Manasulvi,
Can I
Manishji?
go?
Yes, yes, please.
Yeah. So I think chapter one was wonderful in the way that, it kind of sums up for me when it comes to relationship. One is that the love has oceans of definitions. So the way that the first paragraph has told about definitions, I mean, the way of explaining love, it was wonderful. What is my the one takeaway that I would take from this is when author told you and yourself should be better to have a good you and your partner. So we should always look for the ways how can we improve oneself
to be a better partner, for firstly to be a better self and then to be a better partner, is something that actually stood out for me in the chapter one. And then they also discussed on the crucial elements. He told that crucial element of love is selfishness, and love will be different in different stages of life. I think that is something that, you know, I think in reality people will obviously move to the next part, but then, in the race of life, the other partner would be on the different stage, and you would be stuck in the stage where it's either you're dating, either you're, in the starting of marriage. So I think you have to grow with the timeline, with the understanding and maturity of love, and how it is evolving each year. So I think that is my big takeaway from this chapter.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pravina, for sharing your perspective on this. And yes, it is very important that in the journey of life, everybody is growing in different ways. So it is not just like how you started. You can be with your partner from last 1 year, 5 years, a decade, or maybe more than that. So obviously, you both are not the same as when you were when you met. So there are changes in them, there are changes in you, and at this point of time when you both have changed, by the time when you met, there must be a lot of things which has changed within both of you. So keeping a check on it, what they want now, how to handle the relationship now, can never be the same. So having that knowledge and having that awareness is very important. So every time, it is not that when your wife, like when you were into a marriage, maybe your wife, like she loved red flowers. Maybe now after 10 years she loves white flowers. So you should be aware of the changes which should be there. So this was a small example. There can be many things, bigger, smaller,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
this is
I
very
would like to
important.
add
Thank you.
more things
Yes,
here.
yes,
I mean,
yes.
just why I mean, remember that I, read this somewhere. When Bill Gates has divorced his wife, when everybody were talking about, this might be a political gimmick or economic adjustment, the way that Bill Gates answered was, we grew into a different persons. Now we are not, you know, in compatible for now. So that's why we felt apart and we are divorced. I mean, I know that's too much out of it, but I think that is where the maturity arises, where you are a growing person all the time, and so if you are putting efforts to know each other with growing sessions, that is something that keeps the relationship successful. So yeah,
Absolutely, and it was not too much, it was on the point. Thank you for sharing that, Pravina. Thanks a lot.
thank you all.
Yeah. Anyone else? Mansi?
Hi,
Yeah.
Jyoti.
Hi.
Anjali, go on.
Hanji Anjali.
Okay, so see what struck me most was that the variation of attachment. As many times we call attachment as love. Loving someone is getting too much attached. And in that process, what we start doing is controlling, forcing, four words author has mentioned: controlling, forcing, then possessiveness, and manipulations. So these are the ways in which we try to show our love. But it is also a blockage. It also blocks the growth of love, and it holds the person back. These are the negative things, negative traits that we unconsciously add in our behavior just to express the love, but it is not exactly what love means. So this is something that struck out. And another thing, what I liked was the communication. The communication is the key to build any relationship. The healthiest way to develop relation or healthiest way to understand each other is a better or good communication. The more we communicate, the more we understand each other, and that is the way we can understand others liking, others priorities, and we can express that yes, in order to love them, we can go ahead with their priorities, keeping them first. Maybe in two people, whenever whoever two person are, not just a spouse of a husband, wife, or parent, it could be anyone, but we have to communicate better to understand each other better. So these two things I liked.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Anjali, for sharing this. And absolutely, since this book is all about, we might have this perspective that we are talking about love relationship, spouses, husband, wife. But we can actually, whatever we are learning, we can actually take all these things for all the other relationships, because we love our parents, we love our friends, we love our kids. So, for every relationship, I think we can use these things, and we can actually implement these things to grow our relationship stronger. And controlling, having a super attachment is all, like, it is not always good. It is not good for you, it is not good for your partner. Sometimes it can be suffocating, so we have to actually understand and be very mature about having that thin line of we should know where the boundary is, and we should know where the limit is. So this is extremely important. So yeah, this was a good share. Thank you so much, Anjali, for sharing this. Anybody wants to share anything else?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, please.
The book How to Love Better is how to help love flow in relationships. That is, we have to thrive together, grow together, to maintain a balance. The 3 points that were discussed, kindness, growth, and compassion, I feel truly they help a lot. And attachment, uh, we have to, in relationships, we have to work with detachment. That's very true that attachment leads to controlling, forcing, manipulation, and other such type of things. And when we communication is very important between partners or any relationship, because without communication, misunderstanding is also there. And the the strong thing is that while doing the communication, both have to believe that they are not enemies. They are discussing on some issue. We have not to hate the beings. Rather, just the issue should be discussed. Yeah. Like whenever I personally say, whenever my and my husband, whenever we have to, we get angry at each other or something like happens, and it's not that we are not performing our duties. Communication plays a very important role. And how it is done, then these factors, kindness, growth, compassion, these should be kept in mind. Yeah, that's I wanted to say.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the beautiful share. You said it very correctly. Communication is important. Everybody says it. But the way of communication plays a major part of it. And I think in the book which we have read, I don't know how many of us have read that together. The men are from Mars and women are from Venus. There is an entire table where it says that you can actually frame this particular sentence like this. So there are multiple ways you can frame a sentence, or the way you can communicate by keeping compassion, kindness, and gratitude in mind. So naturally, your communication becomes much more lovable and full of gratitude, and the other person also understands it in a better way. So thank you so much for bringing this point out. Thank you so much for sharing this. I also want to share one thing which actually came in my head suddenly. It said that it is not always that one person can do all these changes into themselves, and they can just give, and the relationship will be flourishing. It is a two-way thing. There are two people into a relationship, and if you think that with open hands you will be giving and giving and giving, there will be one point when I think there will be one point when you will start feeling that this isn't working, because you are so much tired of giving, maybe, and anything can come into the mind. So, your partner and you both need to sit and talk together about how it is the responsibility of both the people to make the relationship flourish, because you are not alone into the relationship, there are two people. And when we talk about this, it is very important to communicate this thing to your partner. Maybe they will also tell you that how they are actually taking part in all these activities. Sometimes it is like you feel that I am the only person who is giving, but they are giving in their own way, which you can't see. Maybe you have not noticed it yet. But once you sit and talk with them, maybe you'll start noticing their efforts too. So they can put efforts in a different way. Their love language can be different. Their way of loving can be different, which you, from your side, it is unnoticed. So sitting and talking and having a healthy communication conversation about all these things is extremely extremely important. Knowing their perspective is extremely important, and that's why the entire thing can be a easy and smooth relationship. It can move into that. So yeah, anybody else wants to share something else?
Yeah, thanks, Jyoti, for organizing this reading, and
Thank you.
thanks everyone. Yeah, I agree on a lot of points, and thanks for bringing out the attachment point, Anjali. It's very, very, striking to read it in the book. Um, and I agree with Suman also, the communication part. It is very essential for us to sit on the discussion table as equals, looking at a higher goal when it comes to family and decisions around it. So the ego has to be kept out, or we have to actually assume that it's not me against you, but it's for we actually. Yeah. So having said that, the word love, if you understand, the meaning normally we attach since childhood is mostly coming from movies, mostly coming from copying people, how the others are behaving, and we tend to copy. But we never dwell into what love stands for us. Love may be a combination of values that we look up to. Love can also be something which we really like, and it also would also reflect a part of our personality. So if I look back, maybe movies, maybe the society, and maybe the way I looked upon, the elders behaving might have shaped my concept of love. Having said that, I've always felt that self-care or self-love has been a taboo, in the sense that in Indian society it is looked as a selfish, and selfish is not allowed, right? So how do we do that? We have never learned to understand love in the right context. So reading this book brings us to the point that how do you actually understand love? How do you actually express it, and how do you actually feel within yourself? If you somewhere all relationships are mirroring you, it is bringing out what is there within you, and challenging you to question those things that don't appear in the nice form. So basically, if you take each relation as a mirror, so what are they bringing out? What is there within? And if you say what is there within, then if we have a good rapport with ourselves, if we don't carry a big baggage of past regrets, if we are into the moment and not, too much into a deep regret of things that could have happened or you would have want, or we are not following desires which no longer we are within our control. So how are we actually placed within ourselves matters in all contexts of our life. So I think this book made me realize that if you squeeze a lemon, lemon juice will come out. So if your each transaction is noted in a day, what kind of love is coming out? So that is where it matters. So if you see in a society, any relationships goes with a lot of assumption. Who is assumed to be, whether husband is assumed to be the leader. A lot of expectation that as a wife, I would need these things, or whether it is an eligibility, being the groom, I need to be treated in certain manner, and there is a lot of comparison that happens, and thereby we have to be aware of these things which form a hurdle into forming a good relation initially. And as we go, we are not, none of us are ready to change. So we need to accept that we all will have our own needs and desires, and we will have our own boundaries. We have our own unique traits which we are handling, and you will eventually, as a relationship, the other also have to handle. So this brings to the point that each relationship is important, and how it is personal, as well as how, what kind of a situation, what kind of a family that you are creating. So everybody talks about love and all that, but the essential question or the bottom line is what kind of an environment you're creating as a family, or around yourself, to accompany, to accommodate the others, and how are you making them feel as well. So how are you within yourselves, how, what is the environment that you create, and how are you accommodated, whether you can see beyond what your limitations, or are you even ready to see beyond. So I think the reflection questions will come only when you're ready to relook at the definitions that you have, and would like to relook at the also try to relook at a holistic perspective rather than your individual perceptions. So here I remember the thing from the book I'm Okay, You Are Okay, where the author talks about whenever there is a union of families or whatever, the couple has to sit and decide what are the values they are going to carry forward as a family. That is a new family that is formed. Say the girl comes from a different background, they have a different value system, and the boy has its their own. But never in our way of life we sit together and decide how do we take this forward. What is the life we want to create together? That kind of discussions happen only maybe in partnership on business, that how do we collaborate better and use our things. But maybe at a personal level we'll have to define certain things, so that there are certain no-go zones which we already decide. Yes, life will eventually change, and we might need to have these understandings that we need to make certain changes to those values as well. um, the point of kindness is what is very important. I think as humans we need to be kind, and since the expectations come in relationships, the kindness somewhere gets toned down, because we assume, and we because we expect and we presume. So we'll have to widen and keep reminding ourselves we'll have to be more kind enough, both to ourselves and to others. Yes, there will be tough moments, and we have to stand the together till the time the storm passes and things come back. And yes, life will not be linear, so we'll have to be ready for making certain changes. All in all, this reminded me of the movie Sitare Zameen Pe, which actually talks about the self-love, which is very important, and how you reflect that in every relationship, and that defines your capacity of love, I would say. So if you are somewhere having a different a short way of looking at love, at self-love, then definitely you will also have that kind of a parameter or filter when it comes to uh, giving love to others. So I think everybody has their normal, and we have to understand what is our normal and what is the others, and see how we can actually integrate and be more happy. So the definition of happiness also made me think that we have to let the joy in, allow other to be free as we want to be free. So this will come eventually a bit of reflection. This will come a bit of maturity. This will come with standing certain issues and problems, yes, but we'll definitely grow as we grow in life in relationships, and I think that is the purpose for sending relationships in our life. Yeah, thanks for the discussions. Yeah.
That was so beautiful. Thank you so much for describing everything in such a reflective way, I would say. And everything we'll be taking back to our homes, and we'll be reflecting upon everything, whatever you have said. So, thank you so much for the profound explanation and share. Thank you. Thank you again. So, anybody else who wants to share anything? Mansi, you have not spoken today.
No, I'm listening. Everyone is sharing so beautifully. I was just listening, and I'm happy. As Mani Selvi was here, I was keen to know what she has to say because she has this gift of speaking. The way she summarizes our readings is just amazing, as always, and she did it. So thank you. So I just thought of 2 points, or maybe one point where I just remembered that, and I think we covered it in our live also, Jyoti, that this one point where they say that when two people are vibrating on the same frequency, or any two people for that matter, our inner circles are mainly made up of people who normally we vibrate on the inner, like not always, but mostly the people whom we connect with, we are vibrating on a similar frequency. So is maybe the group over here. So basically, even with couples and partners, I've seen, and I've also experienced it with close people, that when you're vibrating at a similar frequency, like they say that it's either 2 point higher or 2 point lower. That's your range. And when you're likewise you're growing together, then and evolving together, that's how you stay together. Otherwise, when we see that divorces happen or people separate out, even if with friends also we can see, right? Like we don't connect with the old friends always. Sometimes we evolve into different people, and the same friends whom we had a great time with, we stop connecting so well after a while, because either one of us have evolved or we have evolved differently. Like maybe someone must have evolved in a certain direction and the other must have evolved in a different direction. So both, I think that applies to couples and spouses mainly. So it's very important that we grow and evolve together. That was what was covered in the chapter also today. So that is just one point that I just remembered and just wanted to share. That's it. So
Thank you,
as they
Mansi.
covered, growth is super duper important, and open, being open to grow, and I like that point where they said we have to sit together. And even I've heard this somewhere, but Mani Selvi beautifully shared it, that we have to sit together and find which values, what culture we need to create as a couple for the upcoming generations, or as a family what we want to take forward. I think that kind of mature discussions are very important, and I feel hardly it happens. Most of the time it's all go with the flow types, but I think these conscious steps can make a drastic difference in the in any relationship for that matter, I feel. And that also shows your level of involvement and wanting to make the most, right? Like wanting to be fully present for one another. It shows your love for one another, care, and that you, this relationship matters to you also. So this is what I felt like. Yeah.
So beautiful, Mansi. Thank you so much for your share. So yeah, I think we are done with the today's session. It was
Jyoti,
beautiful.
one more
Yes, yes.
point, like one more thing, like not a sharing. Just want to know, want you to know that I just got disconnected in the middle, due to my phone, like it just went off. So you will have to take the insights sharing notes today, or someone, like because I will not get the notes once you are out of the room. The AI don't give you notes again.
Okay, okay. So
Normally, the prompt I use is summarize the shares by individual participants. So that way
okay,
it gives names and everyone share in front of their names. So that has
okay.
helped me. But you can try your way. But just letting you know that I have already shared the reading summary, but the sharing summary I missed out. So you'll have to take that before we leave. That's it. Yeah, nothing
All
else.
right, all right, all right.
Yeah,
Thank you,
just
thank you.
one point I had. See, when we talk about relationships here and love, generally we look at a couple, okay, a husband and wife, and or a couple, if you can say. So basically, I just want you all to widen that concept. It can be any relationship. So, as in movies, so many movies, if you see American movies itself, you can see what are the various love flavors that one can have in life. How you can be a better friend. How can you be a better mentor? How can you be a better, just a person, just a neighbor, just be present for your friend. Just don't judge him, just don't, interfere. You have to just show the presence. So, how you can be better, how you can be better as a human being in overall. And one thing I have felt is, if you are actually you are always working against yourself. You are actually not helping yourself. So maybe you'll not be very helpful to others as well. So when you actually walk along yourself, be a good friend and buddy for yourself, then I think you can really see the different flavors of love in others and also enjoy it, enhance your experience. And I think we are here to love and share love. That is all we can do. Hope we do it rightly and in a much better manner. So thanks, Jyoti. Thanks, Mansi, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's beautiful. Actually, that's I love the name of the book that way. It doesn't directly indicate couples, although it is covering most of that part, but it's more about a generic catch that how to love better. Because if you learn to love better, it's for everyone and everywhere, right? Like it's so true.
Yes, yes. And I would highly insist everybody, I highly appreciate everybody who is there with us till the end. Thank you so much. I would highly insist everybody to please go back, even in night, whenever you find some free time, अपनी चाय के साथ शाम को, चाय कॉफी के साथ, please go through these reflection questions. These are very important. There is no point of just reading something if we are not able to implement these things. So it is very important if we can just go and reflect on these questions. I would highly recommend it, and I would love if you will be able to share something out of it. There are 5 questions. You can just come up into the group and just say that, okay, out of these 5 reflective questions, I was able to reflect on these 2 or 3, and these are the answers, or this is what I reflected upon. So it will encourage other people also to do the same. So it will be a great combined learning. I would love if everybody of us can do that. So thank you so much, everybody, for the
Can I
beautiful session today.
can I just add, like it's 999. It's called like a unique portal today. So if you can just do it today, and if you are really keen on working on your relationship, this could be like a great opportunity to work on your relationship. If you want to work on your relationship, that you reflect on these questions today and journal something around it. Let it all flow, let things go, because today is more about letting things go. And this is something as an occasion that comes like once in 9 years. So it's very profound, and since we, like, maybe it's synchronicity, we just came across it today. So if you are really keen on working on any of your relationships, make it a priority and just take out some time and just do it. I would really just mentioning, if anyone is not aware of it already.
Thank you, Mansi, for pointing that out. All right, then. Thank you,
Thank
beautiful
you.
people, for the lovely session today. Thank you so much for the lovely perspectives and read. We will see each other tomorrow again at the same time, 2:30. And please do let us know anything, whatever comes into your mind regarding the same in the group. We'll be connected. And yeah, thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye.
Someone please take notes of the insights shares.
I
Oh,
did.
okay, cool. No
All
problem.
right.
Thank you then.
Okay,
Bye
guys.
bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you all. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.